Hello everyone, this is Sanjog and I'm making this video specially for class 10, and the topic which I'm going to discuss today is from First Flight chapter 2, that is Long Walk to Freedom by Nelson Mandela. As this is an extract from Nelson Mandela autobiography, and you know that he was the first black president of South Africa. And inside this extract, it includes the description of the inauguration ceremony and the situation for the speech, also his journey to become a freedom fighter, how he became a freedom fighter, and the struggle that he did. And also, he has mentioned the tribute to the freedom fighters. So, in South Africa, a brutal practice named apartheid was introduced and it was followed. So, what exactly is apartheid? Is the discrimination between the races. Alright? So, as you know, that in South Africa, there were two races, that is, the black people and the white people. And the white people were totally dominant over the black. So they were simply deprived. The black people were deprived for their basic fundamental rights. So I am explaining the whole chapter in a slide. Kindly look at it carefully. White supremacy. He was considered to be a criminal. The air shows finally ended by making a South African flag in the sky from smoke beneath the jets. The author remembers the day as the playing of two national anthems of the country, one of the whites and the others that of blacks. On the day, no one knew the wordings of the anthem of the blacks, but Mandela was confident that everyone would soon learn this anthem that they once hated. On the day of inaugural ceremony, the author was remembering the days of past when this whole system of apartheid emerged. It resulted in inequality and inferior treatment of dark-skinned people. They were deprived of their basic fundamental rights. As a result, one of the world's most brutal and inhuman society was born. This began even before he was born. This system created an atmosphere of extreme cruelty and injustice for a particular part of the community. Now, when he is in his 8th decade as a man, he, along with countless others, have changed this entire system that treats humans as humans, irrespective of their colors, caste, gender, or age. This equal and free country was a result of sacrifice of countless other men and women who have fought all their lives for this day. The author wishes if he could thank them all, but unfortunately they didn't live to see the result of their courage. So Nelson Mandela gathered his courage and power from all these people and thus wishes to make them proud. The operation policy scared many people and it will take a long time for them to move. Now the author mentions that this hard time had its negative impacts, but it also exposed a lot of strong and courageous men who stood up and raised their voice. Thus, it requires that level of unjust treatment to produce such great heroes. South Africa, he says, is rich in minerals and gems, but its greatest strength lies in its people. Nelson Mandela gained his strength to stand against the wrong from all the great nationalists he mentioned above, who have even risked their life for freedom and tolerated ill treatment but never stopped fighting. He learned that courage didn't mean the absence of fear but the ability to overcome fear. The man who overcomes his fear is called brave. One is taught by its society to hate humans because of their skin color, age, gender, and religion. No one is inborn with hatred. The author's idea is that if people can be taught hatred, they can also be taught love and brotherhood. In their most testing times in prison, when they were being treated brutally, Mandela would see a pinch of humanity and kindness in one of the gods, and that was enough to keep him going. He believes that goodness in human beings can be suppressed but never eliminated. According to the author, every human being has its responsibility towards the family as well as the society. Generally, under normal circumstances, a person can maintain the balance between the two, but in countries like South Africa, it was never so easy. When a person of color would come up for his society, he would be arrested and taken away from his family, thus keeping them from fulfilling both responsibilities. In the beginning, Mandela did not put his speech over his family, but it was only later when he realized that in order to be there for his family, he was compromising his duty towards his own family. The author did not have the plan to stand against the apartheid system early in life. He lived his childhood like a normal child in South Africa. He only had to follow the rules set up by his father or the customs of his tribe. As soon as he grew up and began to learn the fact as to how people of color are treated, he decided to stand against it. He had this urge for freedom from inside earlier, just for himself, staying out at night, etc., and later for having a basic life not just for himself but for everyone. In Johannesburg, they had to struggle for having a peaceful marriage, family, and basic amenities which everyone has access to where law and order exist. Nelson Mandela joined the African National Congress when he realized it is not only him whose basic rights were snatched away, but of all those who looked like him. He had this fire inside him to free his people from the injustice. It was this fire that changed the author completely as a man, from being scared to brave, a lawyer to the one breaking the law, a family man to a man without a home, and a lively man into being a monk. It was the knowledge that he and his people have restricted freedom that made him into a selfless man as opposed to before. According to him, freedom cannot be divided. Snatching it away from some was equivalent to taking it away from everyone, and that meant taking it away from the author. He mentioned that the need to free the oppressor is as high as that of the oppressed because the oppressor is bounded by the shackle of hatred. He has the weight of all the people who he has tormented, for he carries the curses of all of the families. For taking away someone else's freedom and making them a prisoner, he becomes a prisoner of biasness. Thus he is robbed of his humanity and need to be freed. So that's all. So this was the explanation part, and this one is your home assignment. So do oral comprehension check and thinking about the text. So that's all for today. Stay healthy, stay safe. Thank you.